Alright guys, so welcome to another video of Tricks and Traps Quant 45 to 51. Today we are going to talk about trick 7, specifically used in distance, time and speed. We are going to use the reverse process. That means back solving, using the option choices to get the correct answer. Now, this trick can be very useful when it comes down to distance, time and speed questions. How? Let us observe. So question says, Bob bikes to school every day at a steady rate of X miles per hour. On a particular day, Bob had a flat tire exactly halfway to school. He immediately started walking to school at a steady pace of Y miles per hour. He arrived at school exactly 3 hours after leaving his home. How many miles is it from the school to Bob's home? Now guys, we are not going to solve the question by conventional method. Rather, we are going to see the tricks which can help us solve the question under 30 seconds. So these tricks will be very helpful when you are not able to solve a question or when you are not left with much time. Have a look. What we are given? We are given multiple things. One is the speed, which is X miles per hour for the Bob's bike. Another thing which we know is another speed, and that's Y miles per hour when Bob started walking. And another thing which we know is the time he is taking. The total time he is taking is T hours. Now guys, focus. I was just worried about the entities which were given to us. Why? Guys, simple thing. Can you add speed to time? Can you tell me what is 2 km plus 5 hour? Or can you add time to distance or speed to distance? Of course not. And that's what we are going to use to exploit the option choices. What option B says? X plus T. That is speed plus time. That does not make any quantity and cannot be added. So option B is clearly gone. You cannot add or subtract unlike terms. You can multiply or divide the unlike terms but never add. So this answer choice actually means nothing. Similarly, the option choice D, it says X plus Y plus T. Speed plus time, gone. You cannot have this as your answer choice. Simple. Same goes with E. It says Y plus T and X plus T. Gone again. Now guys, after all this, you're just left with option A and option C. So even if you were not able to solve the question, you were down to 2 options, 50% probability. Not only that, I have further tricks for you to get to the final answer. Now guys, one more thing. When I ask you that how many miles is it from the school, it has to be some distance. So we are looking for an option choice which gives us a distance, not time, not speed. His school is going to be some miles apart, not any distance, not any speed, not some miles per hour, not some seconds. The school is going to be something like 10 miles, 100 miles, 50 miles. So let's see which of the options gives us a distance. X plus Y, that is a speed plus speed. You can see over here. Upon time. Speed plus speed gives us a speed upon time. Now speed upon time is not a distance. So this quantity ultimately is not giving us a distance. Have a look at this choice now. 2 multiplied by speed, multiplied by speed, multiplied by time. Upon speed plus speed, that's a speed. Get down with one speed. You're left with one speed and one time. So speed into time, guys, of course, this is a distance. So there is only one quantity which represents distance and is logical. So the only answer we are left with is C, and that's the correct answer choice. So have a look. B goes away and D goes away and E goes away because they never made. So guys, ultimately, just to brush up, option B, D and E never stood any chance. Speed plus time and speed plus time. Cut down those options. Not logical. We left with option A and C. A says X plus Y. That's speed plus speed, hence the speed. upon time, not a distance. So gone. The last answer choice was C, which actually gave you some distance. Speed into time upon a speed. So guys, we can use these dimensions. We can use that only the like terms can be added or subtracted, not the unlike terms. That's why this trick is very much useful when it comes down to distance, time and speed questions. So let's have a look at one more question so that the things becomes very clear to us. So guys, question 2. Have a look at it again and we'll note down the key things. So it takes the high-speed train X hours to travel Z miles from town A to town B at a constant rate, while it takes the regular train Y hours to travel the same distance at a constant rate. If the high-speed train leaves town A for town B at the same time that the regular train leaves town B for town A, how many more miles will the high-speed train have traveled more than a regular train when the two trains pass each other? So as told to you, note down the quantities given to you. We have time. X is time over here, Y is time over here. We have a quantity which is distance. So Z miles, that's a distance over here. The answer which we need is how many more miles will the high-speed train have traveled. So ultimately the answer should be distance. Alright, so let's have a look which of the quantity does not even gives us a distance. Right, so we have a split over here, clearly 3 and 2 split. So let's have a look and see what we can do with it. Right, so we have a time into time xy, and x plus y, that's another time, and upon x minus y, that's again a time. So this quantity gives us time square, which is of course not a distance. So d goes away and similarly e goes away. So now we are left with just a, b and c. Now all of these gives us distance. How? We have distance, then into time minus time a time, upon time plus time, that's a time. So all of these quantities gives us a distance. So now we are stuck. Let's see what we can do further. So guys, now time to pay attention a little more to these guys, x hours, y hours. Now tell me, which of the quantity is greater, x or y? High speed train is taking x hours, whereas low speed train is taking y hours. So of course high speed train will take less time, whereas low speed train is going to take much time. So clearly guys, x is less than y over here. And now guys, the distance between them is definitely have to be positive, because how many more miles is say high speed train travel? So it will be positive. So the ultimate answer should be positive. And we know x is greater than y. So we'll keep these two things in mind. Now let's go back. So guys, y minus x and x minus y, one of them has to be negative. And since x is smaller, so this quantity definitely becomes negative. And of course we have a positive here, this is gone, because the distance cannot be negative. So this option is already out again. Now we're left with A and C. So 50% probability again. Now still I have another thing for you which will help you to get down to the answer. Now guys, understand the scenario what's happening. The scenario is that the high speed train from town A to town B and the low speed train leave from town B to town A. That means ultimately on the day this thing is happening something like this. So from here the train is going, from here the train is going. They meet somewhere over here. The total distance is z miles. And we are looking for this dA, which is this part, and minus dB, which is this part. Now guys, dA minus dB of course has to be less than z, because of course total is z, dA plus dB. So dA minus dB has to be less than z. And let's go back to the options and see it. Now y and x, clearly a positive number, right? Both are time, it has to be positive. So you have difference between two positive numbers upon addition of two positive numbers. So y minus x upon y plus x has to be less than 1. So this total quantity is less than z, right? So it is clearly a fraction in which numerator is smaller. So the fraction is less than 1, hence the quantity is less than z. Fine. But what's happening over here? You have x plus y over y minus x. Now sum of two numbers, and in the denominator we have difference of two numbers, where of course the numbers are positive. So this is definitely greater than 1, and hence this quantity greater than z. And once this quantity is greater than z, it's not possible because the difference between the distance has to be less than z. So the answer is C. Now right now, you may think it is taking much time, but because I was explaining you, it took time. Otherwise, it's nothing like that. Have a look. I just noticed x hours, y hours, and z mile. I go back and look whether you are making the things illogical by adding or subtracting unlike terms. Here it does nothing like that, but previously you did, so I just told it. Now further, we see a 3-2 split. Let's check the dimensions. Here I have time, time, and time upon a time. Goes away. Time square, not distance, goes away. Now, the distance has to be positive. Here it's y minus x, here it's x minus y. One of them have to go. What is greater? High speed train, x hours. Low speed train, y hours. So that means y greater than x minus y becomes negative, hence gone. A and C. Now, of course, they are traveling to each other. The total distance they covered combinedly is z. So the difference is going to be less than z. So this quantity, of course, is less than 1. Hence this quantity less than z. But this is greater than 1 and hence greater than z. So it goes again. The correct answer is A without solving in just 30 seconds. I hope you're liking the stuff. So guys, stay tuned and continue. Why to waste time in lockdown? Do subscribe us, and of course guys, we are also starting the live online lectures. You can attend them. Alright, we have already begun 2 batches and we are running for the last batch now. If you're interested, you can just leave us a message. The number and the details will be displayed just in a minute. Thank you guys and have a nice day. Please don't forget to subscribe because it takes a lot of time for us to make these videos and bring all these free contents to you. Thank you and have a nice day.